Hello everyone, and welcome back for another episode of Indie Impressions. My name is Nick, and today we're checking out a wacky little arcade game called Hüpfen by a developer named Scobot. And this one, I don't think we're going to have a particularly long episode this time, but I just wanted to show it to you because it seemed particularly wacky. It's a free game available on the digital Google Chrome App Store, so feel free to, if you find this one particularly engaging or strange, you may want to go just give this a shot. I have to say the little menu screen animation here is pretty wacky. I did try this one out once just to get acclimated. I had no idea what I was doing the first time, so I think it's probably a good idea that I didn't just show you that, although, you know, first impression series, right? You know, I try. I can't always win. Our goal here, as far as I can tell, is to defend ground, and what that means is actually literally the ground on the bottom of the screen, that flat space, is going to get eaten away at by some of the bad guys who might be called the buff monsters. And we're going to press spacebar or tap screen, and by tap screen we mean click, to fire photons from that little white guy that's bouncing around, who happens to be our character, or avatar I suppose. We want to score more points than the buff monsters to continue play. Now I'm not sure at what intervals it decides if we continue to play or not, but we're going to try and see if we can figure that out. Clearly there is some sort of a score on the left and right at the bottom, so that's us versus them, I suppose. Maybe the buff monsters or that black kind of darkish, creepy cube bouncing around. It is interesting that the developer chose to go for a black and white aesthetic here. It's not something you see done all that often. It reminds me a little bit of those old school HyperCard games on the old Mac. And also this bouncing around with the trails behind it actually reminds me a lot of like when you win a game of solitaire in the default Windows game. That's pretty much what happens with the cards. Anyway, let's give it a shot. Let's see if I don't fail miserably, and let's see how short this episode's going to be. Alright, so there I am, bouncing around and shooting little bullets. You may not be able to tell because everything's a bit on the chaotic side, but my guy, as you can see, if you watch carefully, there are little balls like shooting out of his face. And my score now is -3. I'm not sure why. And the ground is getting eaten away a little bit now. Okay, I'm at 0. Am I winning? I should press spacebar occasionally, because that's gonna... I don't know, it seems to do pretty much the exact same thing as clicking does. It doesn't seem like I can aim either, it's just whatever direction my guy happens to be bouncing at the moment. And then there's this crazy, like, faces floating through everything, and I can't really tell what they have to do with any of the problems. The enemy seems to be clearly winning with a score of 16-3 now, 4, 5, 2, it's changing a lot, and I'm not sure why. I'm just spam clicking the little ball here, and I can't really tell what's going on. So I have to say, visually, wow, it's really interesting, but it's kind of hard to follow. The graphics to it look like they might be really cool, but at the same time, like, when everything is sort of monochrome, it doesn't make it easy to tell, like, where anything is at all. So I'm not sure if that's good or bad. I mean, maybe if you're going for a really wacky, surreal type of aesthetic, then this may be exactly what you wanted. But as far as from a gameplay perspective, I think it definitely makes things a little cloudy. I mean, also the descriptions, I mean, they seem like they made sense now, but like getting into the game the first time, I had pretty much no idea what was going on, and I still sort of don't, to be honest. I mean, I'm not sure why my score is 5 and their score is 39. What are they actually doing to score points? I don't know, maybe I'm just completely missing part of the gameplay here. But really all I'm doing is just spam clicking on the left mouse button and hoping I get a higher score, I guess. The background music seems pretty nice. Nothing wrong with that. Definitely aids the wacky sensibility that this game seems to have going for it. And I'm not sure when or if I'm going to lose or why when that happens. I'm just still clicking away. And my score seems to just be going down and down. Maybe the more I click, the more my score goes down? No, that doesn't seem to be right either. Well, the ground seems to be holding up pretty well, so that's good, I guess. But I can't really come up with a way to use any kind of skill particularly to do better or worse at this. It's just sort of sitting in stasis, and it's doing what it's doing, whether or not I was really affecting much of the gameplay. Like, this almost seems like an interactive screensaver. And I don't mean that to be negative, I'm just sort of saying my opinion here as we go, my impressions, as it were. I mean, one little hit of color occasionally would definitely probably do a lot to help differentiate what's going on here. Even just if it was my character was the only colorful thing, that might help quite a bit. As far as, you know, the whole thing goes, I mean, there doesn't seem to be a whole lot else to it. I mean, maybe if I figure out how to play it properly, I'm not sure, maybe I would do better. But my score just seems to be hovering around, like, 0 to 4, and occasionally negative quite a bit. And my game over score was negative 62. Not sure exactly why. Well, 66 minus 4 is 62, but how does that get to negative? I'm not sure. Maybe that... Okay, so okay, we're supposed to come out at least 0 or above, and taking my score into consideration, we would go negative 66 and then 4 back up, which would result in negative 62. That makes sense. But the rest of it doesn't. Sorry. I don't mean any offense, honestly. I don't really get what we're doing here. Still, I do see some promise in the fact that we've got some pretty wild visuals, and I think that, if anything, if we take Cactus Squid as an example, you can take something like that and really parlay it into something pretty wild and interesting, so I think we're off to a good start. I'm not sure how far gameplay is going to go, especially when I can't even really identify what the enemy object is. It looks like maybe a box made out of graphite lines. Whatever, I don't want to come off as being too negative here, but I just wanted to sort of give my 2 cents. You know, the developer asked for it. I'm happy to give my opinion when I can. I wonder if this is 2-player in some way. That would seem like the next logical conclusion. And he said he wanted to possibly do something for iOS, so with this sort of a gameplay style in mind, I think that's probably quite possible. It's not a phone booth, right? I just got a little bit of a vibe that I wonder if that box bouncing around is maybe a phone booth. I don't know, it seems to be staying up in the air for some reason. So, yeah, that's Hüpfen. Not really sure what else there is to say about it, but yeah, that's my 2 cents anyway. So, go give it a shot if you'd like. Link's going to be right in the description. Again, I know it's a super short episode, but, you know, that happens sometimes. I am still trying to do the occasional developer-requested game, and some of those are more conducive to good episodes than others, and I'm not saying this wasn't a good episode, but some of them are much easier to talk about for long periods of time, and I don't want to end up going over the same points too many times either, so I'm going to bring things to a natural conclusion when that can be done. And hopefully you enjoyed something a little bit on the irreverent and wacky side today, and I'm sure we'll get into something a little bit more serious coming real soon. So that will do it for another episode. Thank you as always for watching, and be sure to head on over to the website, which is www.indie-impressions.com. Check out all the videos, old and new, that I've covered. Sort them by all the different genres and distribution methods. You can even sort them by developers as well if you use the search box. And when you're done over there, feel free to head on over to the forums and leave a message or two, maybe meet some cool people with similar interests. You never know, there's a lot of cool people that hang out over there. And when you're done with the website, facebook.com/indieimpressions would be your next stop. Feel free to leave a like on that page, and you'll get every day's new video delivered right into your Facebook stream. Makes it nice and convenient for you, and I do the occasional news update and or contest over there too, so that way you stay up on all the new information that's going on with the channel. That is the quickest way to do it. And lastly, if you're an indie dev and you just want to reach me about possibly getting a video done of your game for the show, quickest way to reach me is at RockLeeSmile on Twitter, and all these links are going to be right in the description in case you missed anything. I also do take PMs via Reddit, YouTube, or Twitter, and there's also a contact form available right on the website. So however you'd like to reach me is perfectly fine. I'll be happy to talk with you whenever I get a moment. So that will do it for another episode, and as always, please come back again tomorrow for another one. I do a new episode every single day. Hopefully you guys will stay interested in the series as long as I can keep it going. We are just about to 300 episodes now, so a pretty big, monumental moment for me coming up. And I hope you guys will share that with me as well. So, have a lovely night, and thank you for watching.